Hey guys, welcome to another project. This is one of my favorite projects simply because of the pattern on the fabric. If you've got a very interesting fabric, this is a project you should make. Okay, let's go ahead and get started with this project. We're going to start a little bit away from the center. There's your notch mark, and this is a 1/2 inch stitch. When you come to the corner where you have to turn, just drop your needle down, lift your presser foot up, and then just pull this fabric and align it to the side seam like so. This is where we started. Now we need to go back and start from here and go the other way. We won't be able to sew from this side, so we're going to flip this over like so and start on the same line where we started before. And this time you just have to be a little bit more careful. Then keep looking at the bottom panel here, because you can see where the corner is. So I'm just going to hold my finger there. And when you're at the right point, just lift your presser foot up, and now you're going to push your side panel like so, and now just go and sew. This is actually a lot more easier than it looks, because you kind of might think that how am I going to turn this corner, but if you take 2 scrap pieces of fabric, cut it into a square and a straight line, and then try and do this, it's a lot more easier. Okay, that's how the side panel looks, and it looks a little bit wrinkly from the other side. When you turn this like so, and just poke your fingers and see, that's actually quite neat. And when you sew, it doesn't look neat, but when you actually open it and kind of push those corners, that should be quite neat, because it's a single layer of fabric we are sewing. So now what we're going to do is put it back like so. We're going to go and attach the other side of the side panel from here all the way till here. Follow exactly the same process. We have attached both the side panels, and now we need to go and do exactly the same for the main fabric. Before we go ahead and do that, we need to attach the handles, because we have got this mitered V points, and your handle needs to go on like so. Later on it becomes really tricky to attach, so this is the best time to attach it. So now what we're going to do, measure the top width of your bag, make a center notch mark. I'm not going to make a notch mark on mine because my fabric frays quite a lot. So I'm just going to make a chalk mark, and from that chalk mark we need to take about 2 inches on either side. So leave about 4-inch gap in the center, and then just go ahead and place. This is entirely up to you. If you want a longer handle, just go ahead and place it like so and make this part longer. And I'm placing it so from the top edge, it's about, this point is coming about 3 inches from the top edge. So that's how I'm going to place it, pin it, and then we're going to leave about 1 inch on the top because this needs to be closed. And then from that inch away, we're going to go and sew these 4 sides, okay? And then we're going to attach it later on. When we finish the bag, we're going to attach the top of the handle to the edge of this top edge. I've changed my foot to the edge stitching foot, and I'm starting about 1 inch away from this edge and starting with the back stitch. I'm just going to go turn the corners and like so, and just going to finish about 1 inch away. So go ahead and do it on the other 3 corners of the handle like this. Here we have attached handles on both the sides, and now we need to go and attach the side panel to the bag exactly the same way how we did with the lining. Now with your side panel, you have a little pocket that goes along like so. Let me just show it here. And the pocket is slightly wider because this is going at the bottom of the pocket where the notch mark is. So go and place it like so and go and sew a stitch on this bottom, and then go and sew a stitch on both the sides like so. Your pocket actually kind of lifts it up and gives you a little more room than just being flat. This is simply because if you're going to keep your mobile phone or any small items, then it's easier to take it out. If you find this pocket is too long and too deep, then just go ahead and chop a little bit at the bottom so that becomes a smaller pocket. Here I have already attached one of the pockets on all 3 sides. Now what I'm going to do is go ahead and place it on the center. If you're not sure about your center, just go and measure it, mark it, and then go and place the notch like so. And then we're going to go and do exactly the same procedure like we did with the lining. I'm going to place a center notch on the marking like so. Start off with a little back stitch and again half an inch stitch. Place the needle down, lift the presser foot up, and exactly how we did with the lining, we're going to go and sew the side panel to the main fabric. This is where we started. I'm just going to turn this over and start a few stitches before. This is the side panel we have just sewn in. Now go ahead and attach the other side panel exactly the same way how you did this side. Okay, here I have sewn in both the side panels. Now I just wanted to show you, sometimes if your fabric is a little bit stretchy or brocade like my fabric, you might have a little bit of this problem in the side panel. Don't worry too much about this, just straighten this out. Okay, because when we sew, just kind of go and straighten it out like so. If it's more than half an inch, then you need to undo all the seams, unpick all the seams and then redo it again. But if it's 1/4 of an inch, don't worry about it. Okay, so now we need to go and attach the lining and the main bag together. Before we put the lining and the main fabric together, we need to kind of just attach the bases so they don't kind of come apart from each other when you start using the bag. So basically turn over to the wrong side and match the 2 bases like so, the 2 panels like that. You can't go and sew from the one end to the other end because you've got this bulky fabric that is kind of being in your way. So all we need to do is just maybe about an inch or so in the center of this panel, just go and sew a stitch here. And the same way we just go and sew the base here. That way, when you start using the fabric, the lining kind of won't come apart, okay? We're gonna hold both the layers together like so. Just make sure it's straight and matching the bottom of the side panel. And go ahead and just give about an inch or so long stitch. We're going to go and sew on the same stitch that we have sewn before. We have sewn in the bottom like so. Now all we need to do is push this lining like that. Okay, I've put some fillers inside the bag and I've closed my zipper, and also I have gone and pinned all around, and at this stage your lining should match the main fabric perfectly. If it isn't, then there's something wrong. I need to go and rectify it. If it's not sitting properly, then this would pull from one side to the other. That means the side seams of the lining is not matching the main fabric, and that's why it happens. So go ahead and kind of change it, reposition it, come back and pin it. Now we're going to bind this with a bias binding. So let me just go ahead and open the zipper, remove my fillings, and then we're going to bind the edge with the bias binding. Okay, here is a little piece of fabric that I've taken extra. There's about 2 inches long of bias binding. I've also got enough of bias binding here that goes around the bag and a little bit extra. So we're going to start somewhere just underneath the handle. So when we start underneath the handle, I'm just going to remove the pin and we're going to start like so, and just go ahead and do a stay stitch so it stays in place. Okay, so now that's in place, we're going to go, and my bias binding is already folded, so basically we're just going to go in the middle of the fabric like so. You don't need to do this twice like we do it on the pocket. All you need is the straight edge of the beginning of the bag like so, and go and place it like that, and then what we're going to do is just go ahead and bind it straight away. So then keep feeling the edge here, so you kind of push the binding so the whole of the binding is holding both the layers of the lining and the main bag. Now we're about to come to where we started. We don't need anything extra, so I'm going to trim just so that it just kind of touches the beginning of where we started. What we're now going to do is, we have this fabric, we're going to fold this over, fold it in like so, and then turn around, cut off the excess. We're going to leave about 1/2 inch there, and then tuck this in. Go ahead and iron it in case if you need to fold, and we're going to go and start over on the seam and just close it. And that way the beginning and the end of the binding is all covered up and it's neat. So if I kind of unpick all the loose threads, and that would be neatly finished. What we need to do now is just go ahead and sew on top of this, because we have attached the handle 1 inch away from the edge, so we're going to place it like so, and just go ahead and just put a top stitch so the handle kind of rests in place. So we're going to start off on the binding, so that is going to kind of hold it securely. Go ahead and do it on all the other 3 sides. Okay, there you have it. Your beautiful handbag is now ready, and it has got all the pockets and the zipper, and it's just so neatly done, and you have got your zip pocket, patch pockets and everything, and this carries a lot of stuff that you want to carry. Okay, go ahead and do it with lots of different fabrics. One thing I would like to suggest is, if you're going to go for a contrasting fabric, you have to make sure the binding is absolutely neat. Because it's kind of a black and white, it hides a lot of mistakes. Not that I've done mistakes, but it's just a thought. If you're trying this for the first time, go ahead and choose a fabric that would hide a lot of mistakes, and that's the way to do it. Okay, so there you have it.
Thank you for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the project. If you did, leave a comment below, and I shall see you next time. Thanks for watching.